Today, I want to show you two tools that are really helpful while you're doing foundational literacy lessons. These are great for any curriculum. If you're trained in the science of reading and evidence-based practices, then these are a great tool. These were actually created with teachers and tested with teachers who were brand new to the science of reading. I partnered with a charter school called the Compass School to make these. And it took over a year to make them. They were tested with kindergarten through 8th grade in tiers 1, 2, and 3. And the great thing was all of the teachers and all of the staff, even the teacher aides, the teacher assistants, they were trained in the science of reading and they were brand new to all of this. And so because it was so new to them, they had so many questions and they kept giving advice for how to make these better. So I'm going to dive into one at a time and show you exactly what you're getting with them. So the phonograms and metacognition deck, there's a card here that shows you an articulation strategy to help with students. So it talks about how you introduce sounds. You're going to look at, lips, tongue, teeth, where the placement of the mouth is, the manner, the airflow, is your voice on or off? It's all there to guide you. I've got videos as well on YouTube about that. And so these are activities you can do to help students if they're having a hard time with phonemes. On the back, we'll find what's inside this card deck. So the pink deck is vowels, white is consonants. I'll go through the orange deck with you, but it's the hard and soft sounds for C and G. There's practice cards for students. And then there's nasal sounds and long vowel consonant consonant. Some people call these the plus syllable type or the rule breaker syllable type. And it shows you that on the front of every card, there's the phonogram. The back contains the sound that it makes, the keyword, and a picture of the keyword. And then this is a piece that I've never seen exist in any other materials for teachers. There's actual prompts and guidance on what students' responses should be to guide your instruction and continued practice. So as I was training teachers, they kept saying to me, what am I supposed to say? What's the spelling concept here, the spelling pattern? And, it's like I was asking them to memorize all these things. And they said, can you just put it as a prompt? And I said, sure. We'll get to the blue deck too. This is a metacognition deck. So, all right, let's dive in. Let's start looking at what you get here. So here's the vowel pack. We'll just pull out a couple. These are all the different vowel sounds. So AI, for example, we've got a picture of the keyword and the sound that it makes. AI says A, like in aim. Here's the prompt. When do we use AI to spell A? And we want the students to know it's in the beginning or middle of a word. And then we can prompt again, why can't we use AI at the end of a word? English words don't end in I. So these were the pieces that teachers were like, I feel like I have to memorize that. And what am I supposed to say? And what are the students supposed to say? So you'll find that the prompts are now built in for you. So you can hold this card up for your student and ask them, look at the back and ask them these questions. So here's the prompt for A, Y. We use AY to spell A at the end of a word because English words don't end in I. So we have to use the Y. You also see that some of the cards, whenever possible, there's different visuals showing that it could be like a play button, or it could be like the act of playing. Every single card also, there's nothing babyish on here because these can be used for any student of any age. I personally have worked a lot with middle and high schoolers as an educator, and I always felt like when I was doing foundational literacy that there wasn't many, excuse me, there wasn't many materials that felt appropriate. They felt very childish. And so I'm always cognizant of, I want everything coming out of the company to actually be things that are appropriate for older students too. So all ages can use these cards. But this is showing you that, there's different meanings for play or different ways that you might see it. And also very important that all of the tools that come out of root literacy are multicultural. So you'll see that as well in all of the cards. Okay, so I won't go more into that. Those are the vowels. And then you'll see the same thing for the consonant sounds. The white is the consonant. So here's like the sounds for S. We know there's multiple sounds. S says Z if the sound before it is a voiced sound, like nods and nose. So there's different prompts in there like that as well built in for you. So you don't have to memorize all these things anymore. And then this one, for example, these are silent letters. So yeah, this is all the consonants in white. In orange, these are the C and G practice cards. So once students learn C can say S and G can say J, then they have to learn the hard and the soft sounds. So you'll just see the sound on the back. So G is next to an L, so it's going to say G. G is next to R, so it's going to say G. Let's find a different one. G is next to E, so it's going to say J. So again, the hard and soft sounds, and you would just flash these to students and hold them up, and they can practice, and they can go J, G, 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 J, G, right? Like it's super fast. So that's really great for them. You can have them explain like how they knew the sound because of what vowel comes after it. Next, let's look at, these are the nasals in the long vowel consonant, sometimes called the plus syllable type. That's what this deck is, the yellow deck. So we know that A is nasal and says N. So we've got a note here, when A comes before the consonants M and N, the short A sound changes to a different whiny sound, like in the words an and fan. So like there's notes on there for you for these as well. And then these cards here, it depends on your curriculum and how it's rolled out, but there's some curriculum that just has NG. There's other curriculum that teaches ing, ing, ong, un together. So it's like this because I realize that, you know, depending on what curriculum you're using, you might want a different card. So those are all available to you. And then here's the plus syllable type ones. The wild, old, kind, ghost, bolts from the troll, all those type of words. That's just a phrase I came up with that, you know, the wild, old, kind, ghost is very common, but bolts from the troll just seemed fun. Okay, so the last thing in this deck, and this is different from any other curriculum I've seen, the most important thing is metacognition. It's not just about making sure that students are memorizing and learning. Like we want to make sure that they actually can read and know all these phonograms for sure. But it's also important that they know what to do when they get to a word and they don't know how to read it or they don't know how to spell it. And so we should be building that knowledge with them and teaching them those strategies and asking them, hey, what strategies can we try to spell a multisyllabic word? Or what strategies can we try to spell a one-syllable word? What do we do if we don't remember the sound of a letter or a group of letters when we're trying to read a word? What do we do when we're spelling a word and we can't remember what sounds the letters make? And then here's the reading one. So there's only a few of them in here, but the strategies are actually on the back. So you can look at this and guide the student. So this one is, what strategies can we try to read a one-syllable word? So we can look for a suffix, box a suffix if we see it. We can identify the syllable type, and then the syllable type can tell us the vowel sound. So that's one strategy that we can do. We're looking for morphemes and syllables, even within a one-syllable word. The multisyllabic word, what strategies can we try to read a multisyllabic word? And it's on the back for you. There's syllable division patterns. We can look for morphemes. We can use it together. Oh, I see a morpheme. Can use my syllable division, get to the syllable type, which tells me the vowel sound. So it's all there for you. So these are great to bring out, and even tier one whole class, ask your kids, hey, what do we do? What strategies can we apply? So that's a game changer. Okay. So that was all this deck. The second deck that I'm going to show you, again, built with teachers over the course of a year, is terminology and spelling. So within this deck, we are going to see there's a gray deck and there's a beige deck. The gray is common spelling, rules and generalizations or patterns. And then the beige deck, is common terms that we use with students. And so this one might be helpful. You know, this isn't for everybody, but this might be helpful for, yeah. Okay. So the second deck that we're going to look at is terminology and spelling. It's broken into two decks. There's a gray deck focusing on spelling and a beige deck focusing on terminology. So here are the two different sets here. So this is all terms like what is an R-controlled syllable type or the plus syllable type or consonant LE? What is a morpheme? And on the back, it shows you there's three types. There's a prefix, a base, a suffix. And it defines them for you. Well, what is a base? This is how you could even explain it to students, talking through what a basement is. Like the teachers I was working with, they were like, Heather, you have all these tricks and all these things that you do, and I don't know how to do them. And so I built them into the cards. So literally all the knowledge I've gained and everything I've done through experience that I've learned is now in the cards. Here's the suffix, it explains the two types, inflectional and derivational. It has examples and defines them so that these are all the terms, okay? This other pack here is spelling. So when does Y say I? Y says I at the end of a one-syllable word. And then there's examples and, then there's English words don't end in I. So then it even has exceptions like the word I and hi, which actually isn't really a word. It's slang for hello. But we say it all the time. And students are always shocked when I say, yeah, if you look up hi in the dictionary, it won't be there, but hello will be there. So there's all these different things that a lot of times we're wondering, like, what is the rule behind this, or is there one? They're all in this deck for you, again, filled with examples and explanations that have all been used by multiple teachers in K to 8, and this was built over the course of a year, like I said. So I hope that these help you tremendously as much as they help me, and now the folks who are getting them and using them are giving me feedback of how much they appreciate all the work that took in to make them. So yeah, again, they support all curriculum, and thank you for all you do. I'll keep working hard to make tools and resources for you to, so that all students learn how to read and write.